Hi, I'm Rebecca, and I'm doing my innovator presentation on the company Tom's. So, some things that you should know about Tom's is that it is a hybrid organization, which means that it does focus on social innovation, but it is a for-profit company. So, for those of you who don't know, it started out with just making shoes, and I'll get more into the other things that they're doing now, but it is like kind of known as the shoe company. Blake Mykowski founded the company in 2006 after he had been in, I believe it was South America, and he noticed that many of the children there were without shoes. So he came up with the one for one idea that the company is based on. So one for one means that every pair of Tom's shoes you buy, a child in need gets a free pair of shoes. So whether Blake meant to or not, he certainly went through the design thinking process when he came up with this business model. So he was there and saw kids without shoes. He could see the problem with his own eyes. So that's kind of takes care of that empathize part. Um, then he defined the problem basically that kids didn't have shoes, which isn't quite deep enough of an investigation if you ask me, but I'll address that a little bit later on in my presentation. So he came up with the awesome idea of Tom's, the company, and his prototype was his business model, and then he tested it successfully by giving away millions of pairs of shoes. And he took this same idea and expanded it to some other products and categories as well. So you can buy Tom's glasses and you will be help provide prescriptions or eye surgeries for people who can't afford it. When you buy a bag of Tom's coffee or coffee beans, you provide a week's worth of water to a person who doesn't have access to clean water. With every Tom's bag that you buy, Tom's provides a birth kit, which is a bag with sterile birthing supplies to women in need. And then also the money helps obtain prenatal care for those who don't have access to qualified professionals. And most recently, money from purchases have been put towards partnering with and supporting anti-bullying networks and programs. So with all of this impact, you might wonder if Tom's has it all together or if there's more they could be doing. So to improve the social innovation already going on in Tom's, I do have a couple of recommendations. The first one is to revamp the products. So I think this is something Tom's didn't think about right away. Like, really, if you think about it, nowadays, how easy is it to find a pair of Tom's knockoffs in pretty much any store? You know, like laceless canvas shoes are a thing now. So usually you can get them for about half the price as Tom's, right? He flooded the market with his idea and style, but didn't seem to plan for what would come next. So I'll give it to them. Tom's has expanded to bags, glasses, and more than your standard canvas shoes, but they seem to kind of be with the curve or maybe even a little behind it as far as product development goes. So I think that they just need to find another element that sets their products apart. So what does this have to do with social innovation, right? The thing is, with a hybrid company, the products fund the social mission. So with revamped products and continual innovation of product development, a continual product development, the company will be able to better sustain the social mission. So that's the whole point of the hybrid, right? That the products and things support the social mission. So next is to focus their social innovation efforts. I think that the diversification that they have done as far as their impact goes has been a good thing, but the business itself doesn't make much profit. And so I just kind of foresee the company's efforts being spread too thin if they keep adding to more causes. So perhaps the impact might be diluted if they just keep doing this. So I recommend just sticking with what they have for the time being or maybe forever and making just a bigger impact in those things. So this kind of leads me to what I think Tom's, the company, their biggest mistake has been. I think Tom's missed the question why in the first place. So Why were kids running around without shoes in the first place? So some questions I thought of as I was doing my research was, will simply giving shoes to kids in need actually help or hurt? Maybe it will hurt local cobblers or local communities in other ways. Will Toms be creating a culture of expectation among poor people that the things they need will simply be handed to them? Will these So while these questions came up for me right away, as I was doing the research, I kind of found that Tom's may have thought about these questions a few years after the company got started. So my recommendation to sustainably scale the operation of both making the products and making positive social impact is long-term partnerships. Tom's is actually in a great position to do this. They have giving partners that do the groundwork of carrying out the giving of shoes and birth kits and so forth. So Tom's is also starting to partner more with local people to teach them to make some of his products and help support the communities long term. I think the next step is to go into the fair trade realm of things. Perhaps part of the product revamp I was talking about could be that all of Tom's shoes are 100% fair trade, or maybe, the canvas shoes are 100% fair trade. Teaching people a craft and partnering with them as a business is very sustainable, and it does a lot more for the people than just handing them a pair of shoes. This fair trade idea is becoming much more common, it's easier to do, and the positive impact lasts for generations. Thank you so much for watching my presentation, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.